Oh, a whole lot just doesn't happen this week.
Nope, not a lot at all.
Just flat man.
It's a very flat man.
Very flat man's here.
And
Hello.
eating fish whole.
Yes. That's how you eat fish. Just eat them whole, bones and all.
Nom, nom, nom.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Jared Now Watch Inuyasha is episode 138. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady
Hello.
We are discussing season 5, episode 26 or episode 136, entitled A Strange Invisible Demon Appears. This is spooky.
Ooh.
Yeah, we kick this episode off and they're all bummed because they don't have food and they're broke and they're eating the smallest fish imaginable. And Inuyasha and Shippo get into a fight about it. That's basically the gist. And they're like, we gotta find money so we
Mm-hmm.
can get food and everything. So they're out the next day. They're just walking around trying to figure things out. And then this old lady shows up, and it's the old lady exorcist from, of course, episode 85. Everyone remembers that, which she's the old lady who is a exorcist, but she has no ability to sense demonic aura and all that sort of stuff. So they think she's kind of a fraud and all that sort of stuff. This happened like a year ago for us, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't remember it.
Those were canonical episodes, so like this is a canonical character.
Correct.
But this is a filler episode, so you know. But yeah, she's like, "Hey, it's been a while. I got a job I'm working on. You guys want to help me out?" And they're like, "Yes, we love money.
We're
Let's do that.
poor.
We're poor." Uh, so there's like these houses that are being robbed, and they don't know who's doing it because the demon, quote unquote, seems invisible. So they're like, we should split into two groups to figure this all out. So they split up. We have team captains, Moroku and the old lady.
Because they have to split their spiritual powers.
Yes, of course. Moroku picks Kagome and Inuyasha because they need someone to look after Inuyasha because he's a menace.
Mm-hmm.
And then the old lady gets Shippo and Sango along with Kirara because they're a package deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're just hanging out for a bit, eating some food, chilling until we gotta wait till nightfall. Shippo and the old lady concoct this invisibility thing that they can do with Shippo's fox magic and the old lady's sutra, so they can become invisible. So Shippo becomes invisible for a bit, and then he also makes Sango invisible for a bit. And then
Yep.
they both go off and do different things. Sango helps a young gal not get bullied, and then because like all they can see is Kirara like, it's a demon cat, talking demon
It
cat.
can talk. Just floating.
Yeah, and then she starts turning visible again, and this girl's like, oh, thanks, lady. And then she spies Moroku walking out of a place with some ladies and just like eyeballing him the whole time. And he's like, why isn't she saying anything? Oh God, she's just like staring at me. I don't know what to do.
And yet he's so stupid and continues to do the things that he knows is gonna make her mad. Like he still says, like, hey, do you want to bear my children? He's like, hey, I'm still gonna try and touch your butt. Say, I'm gonna talk to you about being pretty and blah blah blah. I'm like, the whole time he's like, why doesn't she do anything? Why doesn't she do anything? I'm like, because you're a dumbass, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop while you're ahead. You've realized she's there. Canonically, you have confessed your feelings for her.
Well, this is filler, so this doesn't count.
I know, it's just frustrating. But then he's just like, ah.
Yeah, he eventually just gets down and apologizes, and she's like, wait, you can see me? And he's like, well, yeah, of course. You're right in front of me. And she's like, runs away. Shippo, in the meanwhile, decides that he's going to go peek on Kagome in the bath, and she's like, Shippo. And then he goes
He's
over
a
to
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
and then he goes over to Inuyasha and starts eating his food, sticks
Yep.
some fish up his nose, and then kicks him in the face 2 times. And then that's enough for Inuyasha to be like, bro, what are you doing? Because by this point he is visible.
Mm.
He's been visible since like he could see Kagome. So, um,
He gets
that all
plonked into
happens.
a like hot spring thingy.
Yeah, and then he's just like,
Must
I
have
guess,
smelled
I
me.
guess Inuyasha smelt me. That's weird. I should have been invisible. Sango comes back and is like, about that, never mind. And she just stands there with like the derpiest look on her face,
Mm-hmm.
as you
Yep.
do. We get
That
to night.
face is so
It
derpy.
was very good. We get to
It's so
nighttime,
funny.
and they are both just sitting around looking at the treasures and waiting to see if anything happens. Inuyasha and Moroku are watching over one thing. Sango and the old lady are out patrolling while Shippo is supposed to be watching over, quote unquote, invisible, but then he turns visible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the demon shows up and he's just flat, sneaks through the door and then puffs himself up to be visible or not flat, I should say, and starts taking things. And then Shippo's trying to stop him, and he's like, "What are you guys doing? Stop taking my treasures. These are mine. I found them." And Shippo's like, "Oh no, you can see me." So he yells for the old lady and Sango. Kirara goes and grabs the others, and we get a bit of a scuffle here, and the demon becomes flat again, so he kind of like, you can see him if you're like staring straight on, but if you're like to the side, you can't see him because he's 2D.
Yep.
He's flat.
He's flat. It's like Paper Mario.
So like Inuyasha shows up and he's like, "Shippo, why are you like yelling and flopping about?" He's like, "The demon, I can see him." And he's like, "Can you?" "Oh, I guess you can't." "Oh, he's gone." "Oh, I guess you can." "All right, well, let me go grab him real quick." And then he just grabs him and is like, "All right, what do we do?" He's like, "How did you find me?" He's like, "Well, you have a weird scent compared to everyone else, so that's how. It's very easy." They're like, "All right, what do we do with this guy?" They don't kill him or anything. They just like, the demon leads him back to his hideout, and he's like, "Here's all the goods and everything. Sorry, I guess I'll stop bugging humans and everything. I'll float away very flat and see you later." And then there's that, and Shippo's like, "I thought I was an invisible demon." And he's like, and Yasha's like, "No, if it was invisible, you wouldn't be able to see him, my dude." Everyone's like, "Oh, you're right. Wow."
Wow.
That's this episode. It's very just
Nothing.
Sure.
The funniest thing about this episode was Shippo shoving the fish up Inuyasha's nose, honestly.
That sure was something. Here's our notes for this episode.
Hey, hit me.
The old exorcist woman makes a second and final appearance. It would seem the old exorcist may have some spiritual power left, given her talisman worked in conjunction with Shippo's magic. Both techniques were weak on their own, but worked together. And then, of course, this is what we will be watching next week. But the third movie is aired between this and episode 137. And then when the old woman is theorizing who the culprit might be, Kagome says that it's like a ninja, but Sango counters, "Impossible, even for a ninja." This may be a reference to the events of the Beautiful Sisters Apprentices, where Sango met the Ninja Sisters. This was, of course, episode 59, which was a filler episode, so, like,
Okay.
probably not.
Yeah, definitely don't remember that.
So yeah, that's it for this episode. Like I said, next time, it's time for us to dive into another film, Inuyasha the movie number 3, Swords of an Honorable Ruler, the penultimate movie.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll watch a feature-length film next week where Swords of an Honorable Ruler will be had.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. That's going to do it for us this week. So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimeCheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter, TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalanimecheckup.com. You can buy our book, Sunshine Moment, a critical analysis of Love Life Sunshine on and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. So join us next time as we sit together and we watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.